Hello students, today we will talk about one of the important subject matters of economics, that is production. As you know, production is one of the important concepts of economics, and we cannot imagine our life without production activities, because human wants and production always go together. If we want to complete our wants or fulfill our wants, we need the commodities to be produced and consumed by the people. I will tell you about the meaning of production now. Production is any economic activity which is directed towards the satisfaction of wants of the people by converting physical inputs into physical output. Production is always related to utility. Utility is nothing but want satisfying power of a commodity. Therefore, production can also be defined as creation of utility or addition of utility to a commodity. If you look at the slide, you will come to know how the commodities are produced in an industry. So in this slide, making of clothes by an industry is shown. Production consists of various processes to add utility. One important type of utility is form utility, which is nothing but changing the form or shape of the materials, and through that the utility is created. Second type of utility is place utility, and place utility is created by transporting the goods from one place to another. One more type of utility is time utility, which is nothing but storing, holding and preserving certain goods over a period of time may lead to creation of time utility for such goods. Now I will tell you about factors of production. A production is complete, or a production activity is complete only when the four factors of production are combined together. Otherwise, production activity becomes incomplete. So basically there are four factors of production: land, labor, capital and organization. Among these four factors of production, first two factors of production are considered as primary factors of production, and remaining two, capital and organization, are considered as secondary factors of production. Now we'll talk about production function. Function is a mathematical tool which is widely used in economics to find out association between two or more than two variables. For example, there is one important function in economics called the demand function, which represents functional relationship between the demand and price. Here production function represents functional relationship between physical inputs and physical output. According to Kautsianis, production function is purely a technical relation which connects factor inputs and output. It shows the flow of inputs resulting into a flow of output during some time. The production function of a firm depends on the state of technology. Earlier we had one meaning of a production. Earlier it was meant conversion of raw materials into output. Now we have changed it into mechanical or technical conversion of raw materials into output. So with every development in technology, the production function of the firm undergoes a change. In this slide, mathematical expression of the production function is given. If you look at the slide, mathematical expression of the production function is given as Q is equal to F of L, C and N. Here Q represents quantity of output, L represents labor, C capital and N land. Hence the level of output depends on the quantities of different inputs available to the firm. In the simplest case, where there are only two inputs, labor and capital, and one output, the production function becomes. Now directly we will go to production function. production function is of two types, short run production function and long run production function. Pertaining to short run production function, we have an important theory of production, that is law of variable proportions or law of diminishing returns. And pertaining to long run production function, another important theory of production is there, that is law of returns to scale. Short period, it is that time period where output can be changed by changing only variable factors of a production. Even though 4 factors of a production are available to a producer to produce a commodity, only 2 factors of a production become variable factors of production in the short run, that is either labor or capital. The remaining 2 factors of a production, land and organization, remain as fixed factors of a production. So in the short period, if you look at the slide, you will come to know how the commodities are varied by the producer. If the producer wants to produce 1 unit of the commodity, he will use one input as a fixed input and another input as a variable input. So in the first case, when the producer is required to produce first unit of the commodity, he will use machine as a fixed factor of production and labor as a variable factor of production. And for the first unit, only 1 unit of machine is used and 1 unit of labor is used by the producer. And for the second unit of the commodity, the producer will keep machine as a fixed factor of production and will consider labor as a variable factors of a production. So in the second case, machine will be only 1, but the output will be increased by increasing the units of labor from 1 unit to second unit. And in the third case, when the producer wants to increase his output, he will do so by making variation in the labor input and he will keep machine as a fixed factor again. About long period. Long period is that time period where output can be changed by changing all the factors of production in the same proportion. It means that all factors of production are variable factors of production in the long run. Land, labor, capital and organization vary proportionately in the long run. It also means that no factor remains fixed in the long run. If you look at this slide, if the producer wants to produce 1 unit of the commodity, he will use 1 machine and 1 labor, and for the production of the second unit, instead of using only 1 machine, he will use 2 machines and 2 laborers, and for the production of the third unit of the output, instead of using only 1 machine, 3 machines are used and 3 laborers are used by the producer. So by this we can understand that for the production of more quantity of the output, the producer is required to increase all the factors of production equally. Now we will discuss about production concepts. There are 3 important production concepts in economics. One is total product, which is nothing but total amount that is produced during a given period of time. Average product, which is nothing but the total product divided by number of units of the variable factor used to produce it. And marginal product is the change in total product resulting from the use of 1 additional unit of the variable factor. So this is all about today's topic. I will wind up today's topic now, and let us meet with the new topic in the next session. Thank you.